Good morning, class. In the story yesterday, The Great Train Journey by Ruskin Bond, we saw that Suraj, a young boy who is feeling bored and he is roaming around the railway tracks. What does he see? He sees a stationary goods train over there, and just because he had nothing to do and he was getting bored, he starts trying to open the doors of the carriages. He is successful in opening the door of the last carriage and he gets inside. And there he sees lots of crates over there and he tries to open them. One of them yields to his force, and what does he find inside it? It was a crate full of red apple. So let us read further. He plunged his hands into the straw and pulled out an apple. It was a dark ruby red apple and it lay in the dusty palm of Suraj's hand. Why dusty? Because he had climbed into the dusty train and he had been roaming around here and there. Hand like some gigantic precious stone, gigantic, huge, big, smooth and round and glowing in the sunlight. Suraj looked up out of the doorway and thought he saw a tree walking past the train. Now, this is something very funny. We all know that trees do not walk past anything, leave alone a train. He dropped the apple and stared. So, something hit him. Hit him in the sense that he realized that something was not right, but he could not put his finger on it. There was another tree and another, all walking past the door with increasing rapidity. Can anybody guess what was happening? Suraj stepped forward but lost his balance and fell on his hands and knees. And why did he step forward and lost his balance? Now let's see. The floor beneath him was vibrating. The wheels were clattering on the rails. The carriage was swaying. What does it show? That the train had started to move. The trees were running now, swooping past the trains, and the telegraph poles joined them in the crazy race. Which race? Earlier he had seen the trees running by, and now the telegraph poles were also running next to the trees. Crouching on his hands and knees. Why crouching? Because he was not able to balance himself while standing in the moving train, and there was nothing to hold on to. So instead of standing, he crouched. Suraj stayed out of the open door and realized that the train was moving fast, moving away from his home and puffing into the unknown. He crept cautiously to the door and looked out. Why cautiously? Because he was scared that he might fall off the running train. The ground seemed to rush away from the wheels. He couldn't jump. Was there, he wondered, any way of stopping the train? Of course, when the train was moving so fast, there was no way he could have jumped out of the moving train. And he started wondering whether there was any way or means by which he could stop the goods train. We all know, all those who have travelled in the train, passenger train, you all know that there is a chain over there which hangs in the compartment, and when you pull it, then the brakes are applied, emergency brakes are applied, and the train comes to a halt. But nothing of the sort was there in the goods train. He couldn't jump. He looked around the compartment again, only crates of apples. So he's very practical. He would not starve. That was one consolation. So he knew that no matter where he was headed to, where the train was headed to, at least he had some food. He picked up the apple he had dropped and pulled a crate nearer to the doorway. Why nearer to the doorway? Because he wanted to gaze outside. As we all know, goods train do not have any windows. Sitting down, he took a bite from the apple and stared out of the open door. "Greetings, friend," said a voice from behind, and Suraj spun around guiltily, his mouth full of apple. So suddenly, on hearing a strange voice, Suraj, he turns around, very fast he turns around, and his mouth is full of apple. So, the first thought which comes to Suraj's mind is that the owner of the apple is somewhere behind and he is scared. And whom does he find when he turns around? A dirty bearded face was looking out at him from behind a pile of crates. Pile of crates? A pile is what is it? A collective noun for a group of things. The mouth was open wide, pan-stained grin, meaning to say the teeth had stains of pan. Ar, namaste, said Suraj apprehensively, a little bit scared. Who are you? The man stepped out from behind the crates and confronted the boy. So maybe Suraj's tone was very offending, so that what happened? Confronted the boy. The man, he came face to face with Suraj in a direct and challenging manner. Instead of answering as to who he was, he told Suraj, I'll have one of those two, he said, pointing to the apple. Suraj, now, see, what do you see over here in this line? Aggression, that the man himself is not scared of anybody. Suraj gave the man an apple and stood his grounds. Now, Suraj is also not a timid boy. He had overcome his fear of the man, and he stood his ground while the carriage rocked on the rails. He was not cringing in fear. The man took a step forward, lost his balance and sat down on the floor. So this time, who lost his balance? The man. Maybe he was sitting all this time, so he had difficulty in maintaining his balance. So, and Suraj was already seated on the crate. And where are you going, friend? He asked. Have you a ticket? So this man is asking Suraj whether he has got a ticket. No, said Suraj. Have you? So Suraj is not somebody who can be intimidated by any other person. So he himself asks him, have you got? So Suraj now is confronting, and he is not feeling timid at all or scared at all of the man. The man pulled at his beard and mused upon the question but did not answer it. He thought about the question as to whether he had a valid ticket to be in that train or not. He took a bite from the apple and said, no, I don't have a ticket, but I usually reserve this compartment for myself. See, children, it is a government property. Nobody owns the railways other than the railways. And this man, he is openly declaring that this compartment is his, and maybe Suraj had no business being in that compartment. So this man, he seems to be, because he says, I usually reserve this compartment for myself, this means that he is a homeless man. This is the first time I've had company. Where are you going? Are you a hippie like me? So a hippie is a vagabond. Here it stands for a vagabond who just goes wherever their fancy takes them. I don't know. So Suraj says he doesn't know where he is going or whether he is a hippie or not. Where does the train go? So when the man tells Suraj that he generally reserves the compartment for himself, Suraj asks him, where does the train go? The scrubby ticketless traveller looked concerned for a moment. He realized that the boy did not know anything about the movement of the train. Where do you want to go? So instead of giving him a direct answer, he asks him, where do you want to go? So Suraj, being an adventurous boy, he tells him, I want to go everywhere. I want to go to England and China and Africa and Greenland. I want to go all over the world. So, now taking a clue from Suraj, the man answers him. Then you are on the right train, said the man. This train goes everywhere. See children, no train can go everywhere. All trains, they have a particular destination, a particular route which they are supposed to follow. They cannot go on their own whim and fancy, otherwise we will have lots of accidents. And it doesn't even make sense. First, it will take you to the sea, and there you will have to get on a ship if you want to go to China. How do I get on a ship? Asked Suraj. So children, these two pages that we have read today, please go through them again, enjoy the story, and I'll make another video and we will finish the chapter. Thank you. Please go through all the difficult words. Anything which you find difficult to understand, please feel free to ask me when the school reopens. So most probably by tomorrow we'll be able to finish this chapter. Stay safe.